Hi, I'm Lizzie and this is Laura, and we have recently sailed on board Virgin Voyages Resilient Lady. This is day 3 of a 4-day cruise, and today we are in Amsterdam.
If you don't want to miss out everything that we get up to on this cruise and our future cruises, make sure you subscribe to our channel.
As we had an overnight in Amsterdam, it was great to wake up and find that obviously we were already here. So we popped to get a croissant for breakfast before heading off the ship.
We were planning to go on a canal tour while we were in Amsterdam today, so we actually booked that using Viator whilst we were still on the ship. Something that we did find a little bit confusing whilst doing this booking was that the ship's time stayed on UK time, and in Amsterdam we were an hour ahead, so we needed to be really careful to make sure that we got the right time in there, because actually the time we were looking at was an hour ahead of the time that we actually were on board the ship.
It is quite a quick walk to head to where all the different canal boat tours are, and you will see that there are lots and lots on offer, including some that you can just get on there and then. Our instruction was to find somebody in an orange jumper, and it was really quick and easy to find them. Our canal tour that we had chosen was a wine and cheese canal tour, and the wine was very free-flowing. We thoroughly enjoyed it. As soon as your glass was remotely empty, they were filling it back up again. There was a choice of red, rosé or white. We tried the white and the rosé, and they were both very nice.
On this canal boat tour, we just headed through the main canals of Amsterdam and had a look at some of the sites. We had commentary from the staff on board. They did this in English, so we understood everything that was going on, and it was really good fun. The staff were quite funny and they were quite engaging, and they did also play some games with us on board too.
As we already said, the wine was very free-flowing and it was very generous what they kept on giving us. They seemed to enjoy trying to fill the glasses to the brim and making it difficult for you to drink it. We would highly recommend this tour, and we would actually really do it again.
When we got off the boat tour, we decided that we wanted to head to Tony's chocolate shop. It's a bit of an Amsterdam institution and everybody sort of always talks about going there, and we'd never actually managed to get there before. So we headed straight over there and we found out that there was a problem and the machine where you could make your own chocolate bar wasn't working. So we were only able to have a look around the shop and purchase some of the standard chocolate bars that they had available there.
After we left Tony's chocolate shop, we met up with some friends, Emily and Liam. They had been in Amsterdam for the weekend, and we had unsuccessfully tried to meet them the night before. We then all headed to an Irish bar together to just sit and have a drink. The weather by now was really nice, so we sat outside, even though we did get attacked by a few wasps.
We sat there for a little while, enjoying the drinks and the atmosphere. Then we headed to walk back to the ship. It was Scarlet Night on board, so we wanted to make sure that we had plenty of time to get ready. It was pretty quick getting back on board in Amsterdam, really easy to get through the security check and everything like that. And we could see that the ship was already getting ready for Scarlet Night, with decorations and things like that starting to crop up everywhere.
We were feeling a bit hungry by now because we hadn't really eaten that much today. We'd eaten a croissant for breakfast and a bit of cheese on the canal boat. So we headed to the social club, as we hadn't eaten here yet and we wanted to give the hot dogs a try. So we both tried a hot dog and had some of the wings to share.
The food here was okay, wasn't it? It was a little bit cold actually. It wasn't particularly hot, but it was good for a quick snack. I thought the sauce that was on the wings was a little bit too spicy for me, and they do offer you the option of having it on the side rather than over the top of the wings. So I think next time I would choose to do that.
Whereas I would just have them smothered in the sauce. Because we have Deep Blue extras, one of the perks is you get a cocktail party, and this was taking place at 5 p.m. at the Athletic Club. So we headed up there. There wasn't really cocktails as such, but you could get like a sangria and lots of champagne. The drinks, again, were very free-flowing. They do not hold back on the drinks. As soon as your glass is empty, you can go and get another one. We really enjoyed this hour. As we said earlier, the weather was nice, so it was nice being outside on the back of the ship, and we enjoyed the company of everyone, and we had a really good chat.
After the Deep Blue Extras party was finished, we popped back to the cabin to get ready for the evening. We wanted to go to the glam station and have a bit of glitter put on our faces, and this was 7 p.m. But we also knew we had limited time to do this because of our dinner booking. So we rushed to get ready and then headed out to the glam station.
We stood in a little bit of a queue. Our advice is if you get there a bit earlier, you won't have to queue whatsoever. We then went into On the Rocks where the diva was just finishing her set and met up with Tom and Dom and had a drink in there before we headed to dinner.
In On the Rocks, we couldn't really decide what to drink, so I just asked the member of bar staff to make us a surprise. I told him what type of drinks we enjoyed, and he made 2 different cocktails, and they were both really nice. So yeah, we had no idea how much they were going to cost or anything like that, but we just went with it.
They weren't on the menu either, so that's quite different than some other cruise lines where they will only make you drinks that are on the menu. So it's quite exciting to have a rogue drink. Tonight we had a booking 8 o'clock at the Wake. We were excited to go there. Well, I was especially excited because I love steak. So we headed there. There was a little short wait, but then they sat us down at a really good table with great views of the Wake.
We sat down at the table and the waiter came over and explained the menu as they always do on the ship. We were then served some bread, which was really, really nice bread. It was just so soft. And then we moved on to starters. I had the chowder, which was really nice, and there was a bit of theatre involved where they poured the soup into the bowl at the table.
And I had the bone marrow starter. I've never had bone marrow before, and I do not intend to have it ever again. It was just quite disgusting, to be honest. However, my main fully made up for it, and I had the filet mignon, and it was probably the best piece of steak I have ever eaten in my whole entire life.
I don't like steak, so a steakhouse probably isn't the best place for me, but I had the chicken for my main, it was okay, it was chicken. We did ask the waiter to just bring us all of the sides for the table, so we tried a little bit of everything, and there were some really, really enjoyable sides there. We particularly liked the mushrooms, they were really tasty, and the chips were good also.
I really enjoyed the cream spinach as well, which is a bit strange. We chose not to have desserts because we were all very full by now, and also we didn't want to miss what was happening with Scarlet Night. So we left the Wake and headed up towards the roundabout. As we were walking towards the roundabout, we were in the social club and we were chatting to some people there, and then we saw a pop-up dance, which was great fun to see. On Scarlet Night, you will see little things like that happening all throughout the ship.
When we got into the roundabout area, we saw a member of the Happenings cast who told us to hang on with her and she would take us somewhere fun. So we stood there for a little bit and then we heard a bit of a noise go off somewhere, and we were taken outside onto the deck and told a little bit of a story. It was freezing cold and really windy out there. We were battling with the elements a bit, but it really added to the atmosphere and it was really good fun.
We then continued on our way to the Red Room because the hostess was giving a show about the story of Scarlet Night. Millie, the hostess, is really talented. She has got an amazing voice, and it was really interesting to hear the story behind the idea of Scarlet Night.
We then headed back towards the roundabout because we could hear something else going on, and in there was a sort of pop-up acrobatic show happening. Again, it was really good fun. There were lots of people around joining in and watching everything, so we really enjoyed that again.
After that, it was time to head up to the pool where the main event of Scarlet Night takes place. We got up there quite early so we would get a good spot, and it soon filled up. There was already a really good atmosphere up there before the Happenings cast even appeared, and everyone was really up for a good night.
The dancers and the cast on board then treated us to a show around the edges of the pool, which we really enjoyed watching, and it got you into that party spirit even more. We then got splashed a little bit, shall we say, by part of that dance, and then as tradition goes, we ended up in the pool ourselves. It did take a little bit of time for us to convince ourselves to get in the pool. A few people dived in there straight away. We did a little bit of dancing around the edge of the pool and then got into the shallower part first, but we kind of just got carried away with the swing of things, and before we knew it, we were jumping in. We were in the pool for quite a while, and I think actually I might have got hypothermia in the time I was in there. It was absolutely freezing. When we got out, we were both divering. Luckily, some of our friends from around the outside of the pool got us towels straight away,
And as we were heading back towards the cabin, we spotted a hot tub. So we got in there, and it was the best thing that I think I've ever had in my life because I could just feel myself warming up. So a bit of advice to you there, if you're a bit cold and there's some available hot tubs, get in one and warm yourself up.
We weren't ready to end our night yet, but we did need to go back to the cabin and get changed. And we both basically ended up having to, well, we were soaked through, obviously. So we washed our hair, had a shower each, and changed into an alternative Scarlet Night outfit and headed back down to the manor.
The after party, as it was called, was being held in the manor, and once again, it was very, very busy in there. It wasn't as hot in there tonight as it had been on the pyjama party night, but it was still quite warm. Lots and lots of people were dancing, and we were probably dancing until about 3:30 in the morning. So it shows what a long night we actually had, the fact that we left our cabin about 7 o'clock and we were still dancing at about 3:30.
We followed our cruise tradition and headed up to the galley. Again, it was very, very busy in there, everybody in there trying to get some late night food options. Again, unfortunately, the only thing that was open was the all-day breakfast, which none of us were particularly pleased with. But it did sort of, I suppose, serve a purpose and fill a gap for us.
Once again, we sat up there for a good hour chatting to just loads of people who were around. It seems to be the place to be at that time in the morning. And then we realised we really probably should go to bed, as it had been a very long day and a busy day. Today has probably been one of my favourite ever days on a cruise ship. We had a great time in Amsterdam, and then we really enjoyed Scarlet Night, and we can't wait to experience Scarlet Night again when we're on the second part of our back-to-back cruise.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like and pop any questions you've got in the comments down below. Please do also make sure that you're subscribed to our channel. You can also follow us on social media by searching Sisters on the Seas.